Yes, sir. What a beautiful song. What a beautiful song that was. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ENS Morning Show. Good morning. Today is Taco Tuesday. Today, I'm going to start calling these shows naming them by the days of the week. This is Taco Tuesday. So tonight, make sure you go get you some tacos, whether you make some tacos or you go out and order some tacos. Just eat some tacos on Taco Tuesday. And today, it's been a hell of a ride up until this point, I would say, for the past 3 months. What a journey. What a journey. Shout out to the 10K Club for really kicking things off and really bringing some excitement into this community. Because prior to that point, a lot of us here were collecting ENS domains individually, right? And we kind of had this belief in this thesis, and some probably had a little bit of conviction in it. But after the 10K run and the 999 run, it really brought this community together, right? We really started making friendships and relationships and hosting daily spaces. And it's truly been a natural phenomenon that's been great to see. Now, with that being said, y'all, I keep saying this. I'm gonna say it again. And by the way, ENS Academy, yesterday, that space was a really good space you guys hosted yesterday. Man, if you guys are not following ENS Academy, give them a follow, because the guy holds phenomenal spaces with some really prominent guests that are always dropping alpha from a lot of different perspectives. So I really enjoyed that ENS Academy. The NFTverse and Flossin held a nice space yesterday about emojis. That I really enjoyed that one too. Got that one in while I was working out. These spaces are becoming like podcasts for me, right? It's you go about your day. If you can't speak, you just listen in. You get major alpha. But anyway, before I pass over the mic, the biggest thing I want to say is this, y'all. .eth is not the next .com. I'm going to say one more time, .eth is not the next .com. This is going to manifest itself entirely different than the .com world, right? .com isn't going anywhere. They have 25 plus years of prominent history of what they've been doing. It's the .com. We're going into a world of decentralization. We're going to a world where we're utilizing the blockchain on a day-to-day basis. We're going to a world where we're sending NFTs, we're sending payments, we're sending different cryptocurrencies to each other and to currencies, and not to currencies, into companies and organizations, institutions. And we're receiving things. Even Ukraine was accepting cryptocurrency payments, and somebody even sent them up CryptoPunk, right? This is the world we're going into, where we're interacting with the blockchain on a day-to-day basis. That is why I believe in ENS. Not because I think this is the next .com and everybody's going to have a .eth and use that as a .com. No, I believe in ENS because we're going to a world where every single human is going to be interacting with the blockchain, doing some type of transaction on a day-to-day basis. That's why this technology is important. Now, is it going to be .eth? Is it going to be .sol, whatever? I don't know how it plays out in the next 20 years. But I do know we have a good chance of being extremely early to something that might be extremely prominent. But with that being said, those are my thoughts for the day. I took enough time. Good morning, Master. Well, good evening, Master. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing good. Good morning, guys. So the first thing to share with you is, I just pinned off my just now's tweet. So I found something, special, which is not good. As I said, it simply is having issue of searching ENS. And as I told you for a lot of times, when buying some domain, make sure you need to type in the name on the search bar instead of clicking any links people shared with you, right? And only your keyboard won't rug you, so that you need to type in and make sure you check the one with the legit ENS collection, so that to make sure there is no maybe fake collection, and find out there's everything actually or compliant, so that you can. But today, as you see the picture, I just tried to type in such couple names, and there's no result. To be honest, I was very surprised that OpenSea dare to make such kind of mistake. Maybe it's a system issue and it will be fixed soon. Let's just pray for that. But because if that is not the case, if that is what ENS, if OpenSea is going to planning to keep it with that, they are just far away from ENS community, and because we know that OpenSea sucks in the past already, that they don't care, domain, lovers, our and our UX, they don't care that much. They only care about the maybe expensive NFT and those JPEGs, and we are fine with that. You can see all those trading history. The majority is still happening in OpenSea because it occupied most of the older players. So the transactions kept in that way. But this is something huge. If you cannot search a name in OpenSea, I won't buy any name in OpenSea, because that's the only way I I can make sure this is the legit and true name without being rugged. Because if you are selling me some domain and you are sending me a link, I will never click on the any link that any people send to me, because that's not the right way to buy. And you'd rather wait, and you'd rather use some other way, like you checking ENS.visions, and you got a couple of links you can also click in and buy. Yes, you can do that, but I mean, OpenSea will not no longer be an option at here for trading domains, which is something great to me. And I don't see any recent announcement that they see it is some issue they detect. So this is something huge to me. I hope this can be some minor issues that they can get fixed at soonest. Otherwise, this is something huge, because the majority of people is trading in OpenSea. I mean, the ENS community. But things like that, exceptional cases like that, will just speed up people getting out of OpenSea and going to other platforms. But we really need to be careful on signing or approving our ENS token in other exchanges. Don't only focus on whether or not the fees is low or what. That is the minor part. The most important part is whether the contract is safe or not. Because none of I don't think lots of us are technical background. So yeah, we need to be very careful to approve any new exchanges, new marketplaces. Maybe ENS dot vision, maybe like looks rare, something like this. But we don't know, right? Even their engineer inside can be rugged by some mistakes they made. We know a lot of cross-chain technology has some surprising news in last couple of months. So yeah, to be honest, I don't know what is the correct the most accurate and correct and the safe way to do, given the OpenSea issue right now. You still have some other way, like you can check with your trading history. If you know these people own the domain and you can locate to his name, you can go to OpenSea.io/his name, and then you can see his collections, and you can go inside and see his great names. But that way you still cannot guarantee this is the true name. What if the guy in his wallet, he has two, for example, game.eth. One is the true one, another is a fake one. You only know it's under his wallet. You don't know which one is right one, right? Maybe one is with Axie, or one is not Axie, and another is a fake ENS collection. This is very confusing. So yeah, just I don't have the correct answer yet, but all I need to let you guys know is pay attention, be careful. Don't simply click on any people's link that he is going to say any names to you. You cannot simply check it's legit or not via that link. So I hope OpenSea can get back and maybe clarify something on this. But because if that is not fixed, I would I would recommend you guys stop shopping mode in that platform, because this is kind of risky to me. Yeah, and another thing I want to share about today, maybe a little bit more, is about the word squatter. When we talk about anything related to domain, we know there's a bad word for those people who register a lot of domains, which is squatter. But my point is, first of all, my conclusion is, in my point of view, there is no squatter so-called in Web3. Why? Because in Web2, like .com, .net, .org, what is a squatter? A squatter is like you register 100 names and you don't put them on a site. You simply make them listing for sale. You don't have a website. You have a name. Then you are a squatter, right? But in Web3, Web3 not only for like creating a website, But Web3, domains, crypto domains, they are pointing to your wallet address and Web3 address and your social media. And even you don't have a website, you don't have a DWeb, it's fine. You have your own association for your BTC and ETH addresses. What's the wrong of that? So that's the from my perspective, that's the total, you know, difference comparing Web3 comparing to Web2. And also, if people talking about the brand ID, I mean Web3, I don't see there is a brand. All those brand and IP, they are registered under the Web2 normal world, and Web2 is parallel of Web3. There is no link between each other, and all the the country law and all the UDRP, all these steps, they are not applied. They are not applicable. They are not just subject to everything in Web3 because this is NFT. This is something it's something like a token in our wallet. Nobody can take it away from us. So those laws doesn't apply here. And that's why, from my perspective, I see there is no squatter. And they always say squatter is like with a bad face. You register, you only want to sell to those people. But anyway, I used it. We are using it because we're associating to our addresses. Why the word Amazon can only be your company's name? Isn't that a bit too much? I love the word Amazon. What's the thing of that? I don't think there's any problem in Web3 world. In crypto, everything doable under the code, under the code, under the program is agreed and allowed from my perspective. Otherwise, you should change the code. And if you have the enough voting power of the DAO, you can change the rule, and we just follow the rules that way. But don't judge it simply use Web2 words and lawyers in any kind of because each country even have different countries law. So this is a totally different situation right here. So this is something for me, to from my perspective to share with you guys. I don't see there's a thing. I don't see there is a uh, I don't see there's any major issue to be a so-called squatter to register a lot of names. But at the meantime, I don't recommend you guys to do too much to those brands because imagine if all the brand names are squatted by those diamond hand and all those giants of the Web2 world like Google, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, they got no way, all their domains, Tesla.eth, if it's in a super diamond hand, and the guy won't sell it without maybe, for example, 100K Ethereum, super diamond hand, right? But that means the Tesla got no way to get in Web3. So they might look for other alternative. And if that is the case, maybe it will hurt or damage the ENS project itself. So to me, for the premium words, for the maybe numbers, and for those all valuable names, we can be super, diamond hand on that. But to me, for example, I have some of the brand names. For me, maybe some amount within 100 is kind of reasonable. I call it the late bird fee because in coming late, and I got some cost to secure it and kept it for a couple years. So they have to hand to you, and I make sure you are kind of one of the giant companies that this amount is totally affordable to you, right? You can't say that Google, Amazon, they are shabby that they cannot pay 100 ETH for their name back. That doesn't make sense. So something like that, I believe it will make a little bit more sense than simply being a super, diamond hand. I wish there is kind of less diamond hand on the brand names, but more diamond hand on the premium names. That is my vision. So if you have any thoughts or if you have any concerns regarding my points, feel free to share. Or if you cannot share here, just DM me. I'm more willing to talk because I always think I kept thinking whether or not those brand name can sell very high, but I'm kind of arguing with myself, and I don't see it for real, at least at this stage. Even with the name wrapper, even with the subdomain, that it will be very beneficial for them to create. They can use the subdomain to create their employees subnames and addresses. Yes, it all makes sense. But if you do it too much, if you ask too much, if you have too high expectation, then that will just get them away from the project, which will be a harm to the overall ENS community. So that is just really kind of a dilemma from my point of view. That's all I'm going to share. Thanks much.
Thank you, Master. Yeah, we'll open it up a little later. If anyone wants to come in and piggyback off that or ask Master any questions, feel free to request on stage, and we'll get you up here. We'll pass it to our next co-host, thenftverse. Good morning, man. How you doing, bro?
GM everybody, GM to the community, GM to the host, of course, 5159. Thank you. The co-host, Master, speakers on the panel, Gary, Flossin, 3402. I see Ishmael's up here. Yeah, Master, I appreciate you touching on all of that information. I think it's important to reiterate those types of things often in these spaces, especially in the morning, kind of get people's brain jump started. Morning in some places, evening in some places, right? Maybe afternoon in some places. But it's good to always keep that in a conversation and letting people know about those particular things when it comes to Web 2 versus Web 3. Words that are being thrown out there like squatters and things like that. I really appreciate you covering that. I don't think we've covered that in this particular space in a while. So it's good that, we kind of brought that topic up. As for Taco Tuesday, Kev, you saw I did send you a taco. The great thing about that is that when Kev said Taco Tuesday, he's going to be, maybe rebranding or giving a subtitle to the spaces each week. It made me think of something. It made me kind of go to the emoji side of things real quick. Is that when Kev said that, I sent him I tweeted him. I didn't type out the word taco, although taco is clean and it's a great word, right? I sent him an emoji with a taco, and it was simple to do that, and that's how I was able to communicate with him, right? Very easily, very clean, very easy, and he know exactly what it meant. So these are the types of things that the conversations have been going around, in the spaces when it comes to the emojis, the OXs, and things like that. But especially the emojis. That language speaks to people no matter where you are at. And I wish we could take a poll, around the whole entire social media industry just to understand how powerful those particular characters are in the Unicode and what they represent. I think that would be an amazing poll to take, one day, and I'm pretty sure it will come to fruition at some point. But I look forward to the discussion today. Thanks again. If you guys haven't retweeted the space out this morning, make sure you tweet it out. Make sure you invite people who need to hear more about the ENS community, who need to be engaged and learn a little bit more about what's going on and get some good information. I think that this particular platform, not just because I'm part of the speaker panel, or not just because I'm hosting the day, but I think that this is one of this ENS Updates morning show gives out some of the best information and education across all Twitter spaces. I don't care what it is. I'm here to say that I believe in it, and I believe in the people that are here that's been here a while. And I hope that we continue to educate people and inform people throughout this journey. So I look forward to the discussion today. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, man. Let's keep it moving right along. Gary Palmer. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, GM. I don't know what good morning means anymore. GM. It's all about the GMs. Super excited as always. ENS on fire. I don't know, Kev. I think the future is ENS. It could be Solana. It could be .com. It could be Unstoppable Domains. All right, we'll give the disclaimer there. It could be handshakes. Why not? I don't think so. I don't believe that. Hey, a couple pieces of information I wanted to share. Got some pins up at the top of the room. First of all, if you're into ENS and if you have your ENS name, then have you taken the next step? You have to ask yourself, how serious is your commitment? How serious is your relationship with ENS names? Now, you put it on your Twitter profile. Maybe you've updated your Discord name, but have you added your avatar? If you haven't added your avatar, then we have a link at the top of this page to a Medium article that's going to help you with a step-by-step guide to validate your identity, to prove your identity, to add on to your identity, because we have 500,000 different wallets that have ENS names. And we look at all those different wallets, and we got ETH Leaderboard website. You go to ETH Leaderboard, you can see all the people that changed their ENS name. But did they change their profile picture? Or is it still, the ENS version of an egg, right? I encourage you to continue learning, take the next step, set up your ENS avatar, and people are going to see your primary ENS as being a more legitimate ENS name because you took the extra step of adding your avatar, maybe adding your Twitter. Care about your privacy. Don't do anything you don't want to do. And yeah, just keep on learning that process. The step after that would be making a website, but easy step: update your avatar. Something else that I wanted to point out is that we have a Web3 compadre, a Web3 colleague who is a Bored Ape. And this Bored Ape, this is also pinned at the top up there, where I'm talking about the merger of Web 2 and Web 3 domain industries. They have a business. They have taken on the PFP of the Bored Ape for this new business. And this new business is going to be investing in Web 3.0. It's going to be investing in domain names. These are traditional domain name investors who have apes, and they're red pilling all their domain name friends. And just wanted to highlight how that these two industries are coming together, are merging even more upon the work of the core team to make ENS names forward compatible. And the last tweet pinned to the top that I just wanted to share with you guys. While the .com TLD industry has been over 25 years strong, as we were talking about earlier in today's call, someone, I believe it was a company, a person out of North Korea, they completely dropped their NNN.com name. It was 010.com, very premium, very short, very cheap to renew, $10, and they let it drop. And then it got caught by a domain catching industry because they didn't do what the ENS DAO did and make that money go back to the ENS DAO. So someone caught that, and then the name went to auction, and then it closed at over $120,000, right? So that person let that drop. And what I'm thinking is that shows a lot of immaturity, even though it's 25 years old. That shows a lot of immaturity in the .com, thinking, for that person, right? How did that person let such $100,000 mistake? And that's the wholesale value. It could be worth $1 million, right? But definitely 120,000. How could that person just drop $120,000 like that? It shows a lot of immaturity. It shows a lot of opportunity, though, for the .com industry, because they are so new at just 25 years old. And most importantly, it shows a lot of evolution for ENS and for what we're doing in Web3 and the value that we're seeing and the value that we're creating, and most importantly, what we're building. Just wanted to share a couple interesting pieces. Thanks for letting me speak, and pushing everybody toward that next step of maybe updating that ENS avatar. So when you log into Uniswap or these other websites, you're going to be in control of what image shows up. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Gary, very much. I'm sorry, they're cutting the grass over here. It's extremely loud. But we'll 3402, our ENS queen. Good morning to you. How you doing?
GM, thanks Kev, Master, the NFT-verse. I had a 13-hour shift yesterday, so I am a bit tired, but I'm happy to be here. I was recently reading about a project. It builds on ENS, and it creates a customizable platform for you that will act as your Web3 profile and key to be able to network with other ENSers. It's free, open source, and a way for the community to build together. It's called, and I'm sorry if you guys have already gone over this, but it's called guayclub.xyz. And the idea is to build a website that tells a story of your NFTs. You know, every NFT you bought has some kind of story, even if it was just that you aped into it or whatever. So you're able to have more control over your NFTs. You can showcase them however you want. I know for me personally, my ENS names don't show up for a while on OpenSea, and it's kind of frustrating. You can also use gwayclub.xyz to be able to see what you have and not have to wait for days. So I suggest everybody check it out. I was looking at it. It seems like a pretty interesting project they have going. But thanks for having me on, and that's all I have today.
Jeez, 13-hour shift. That's tough. I salute you. You're trying to grab more ENS names, so you gotta grind it out. I don't blame you. But welcome back. We'll keep it moving to the next speaker. Is Molly? I can't. Privategroup.eth. There we go. That's the easier one.
Thank you for having me on. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you?
Pretty good.
I have two things to say. I'm sorry for my English, but I have two things to say. Number one to 5159, that is Kev. And the second one to Master. Please, can you remember me? You had one that asked me last time that if you were born on Thursday, what will be your name, right? Or not you?
Wait, I said if you're born on Thursday, what would be your name?
Yes. Isn't you like...
I don't think that was me, bro.
Like 2 months ago, I think so. On the space also, you're asking me, because I'm from Ghana, so you're asking if somebody was born on Wednesday or Thursday, what would be your name? But anyway, no problem. My second point is to Master, when he was talking about domain name and some people sending you DM. I would strongly advise don't click any link in your DM. If somebody send you a name, a domain name link to your DM, it is easier to search the name on ENS marketplace, because most of the hack and virus exploit is through links. And I'm saying this from my own field. I'm also doing pen testing, that is penetration testing, like security testing. And most of the how to send exploit to your victim or how to hack someone is most of it is through links. It's through links. So if someone DM you links, don't ever click it. Just ask them the name of their domain, or if you already know the name of their domain, then you can search it on ENS better. Because now also today, I was trying to search some name on OpenSea and I couldn't find from the search result. I have to manually check it myself. But my advice is just don't click any link. Even if it is someone send you their link for the account, it is advisable to ask them to send you their tag or the name to their account, because it is easier to embed or add exploit to a link and send it to someone. You will just click the link and think maybe it's carry you to the domain name page or the account page, but many things is running under behind. So that's just my advice to what Master said. So I also thank you very much for having me on. I'm sorry for my English.
Hey, Master, did you catch that? I think Master may have stepped away for a second. I don't know if you want to take that one, Gary, or anything of that nature.
Oh, I was cutting in and out a little bit. I heard about the safety of links and connecting links. I didn't catch a lot of that. I apologize.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to, give people, just kind of reiterating what Master was saying, just giving some tips and warnings in dealing with, certain links and things like that. I think that was just to kind of sum it up. I think that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, QR codes too. QR codes are the same, because when you like, we were at NFT NYC, and there was a lot of stickers that had people's apes, and it's like a sticker of the ape and a QR code. You scan it, maybe get a free NFT. But then people realized that even though they looked legitimate, some of them were actually scams, and they were sending people to fake wallet or fake websites that were robbing people's MetaMask. And so being careful of links and being careful of QR codes is the same thing. QR codes are almost more dangerous because, I mean, a link you could redirect to a malicious website. So I guess it's like the same problem. But a QR code or a link, you really don't know where it's going to take you. And it could also, I will say, it can look legitimate. It can look like someone did the QR code. It's like their ape and their picture, but really the scammer just stole the photo and printed something or made a sticker, and a QR code goes to their website. So yeah, good advice. Be careful of all links and QR codes.
Hey, Kev, I'd like to touch on something real quick. Just want to thank everybody who dropped into the space yesterday evening. With the OXs and the keycap emoji space. I know it's something that we wanted to try to bring some awareness to. I don't think it's the point in trying to capture a particular audience or anything like that. I think it's just more of people understanding the historical context that is there, that is kind of right up under our noses, that it's important that you kind of pay attention to as we start to move forward in this space. I suggest that if you have a chance, go check out the replay. We only did an hour. And we really touched on just some key points. So I think that you'll find it pretty interesting. So when you get a chance, everybody in here, go check out the replay. I think you'll enjoy the conversation. Crypto Reporter, what's up, bro?
Hey everybody, real quick, GM, everybody, Kev, NFT, Master, Gary, love seeing every one of y'all here day by day. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. 500,000. We have reached 500,000. That is freaking amazing. I'm really hyped up right now. But I real quick wanted to say a couple things on what you guys were touching on. I know that Gary had brought up the fact that we do see a lot of scams and things like that out there. And one of the things that I think another person in the ENS space, I think his name is Lev, the one that created that article, he was actually talking about how in the future we would be able to send or be able to mint off of a subdomain. So it would be like mint dot whatever the actual what's it called, the actual NFT project was, and then .eth at the end. And by doing that, you would be able to create a smart contract out of that and be able to send it directly to that ENS domain instead of having to trying to actually mint it from or by connecting the wallet. And I think that would be a pretty cool idea. I'm not sure if we will see that in the future, but that would be a really awesome thing with the capability of subdomains. But I'm touching on things that I fully don't comprehend yet, so I'm not going to do that right now. What I did want to say though is that Jake Veter, he was actually a dude I've been following because actually early on in the space, someone that had taught me about ENS domains was actually in the space. And so Jake Veter is also working with that company as well. He recently just got his .eth, his subdomain, and I actually was able to try to invite him on the show. And real quick, Kev, if it's okay with you, I'd like to pin that tweet up so we could see if we could try to get Jake Veter on here. He's
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, he's the 2022 Olympian. He's a professional snowboarder. He's into crypto, and he just got his .eth. So if anything, we would love to try to have him on the show. And so if anything here, let me try to pin that up. Because I just invited him. He did just like it. And I think it'd be pretty cool to have these cool people on here now that they're starting to realize what we've realized all along, right? Just, hey, this is the future. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome to see if we can get him on. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm really hyped up. My coffee kicked in. I got like a sugar rush, acting like a 10-year-old kid right now. But I'm just really hyped up for just everything that's been happening in the space, and I would really look forward to what's about to happen, because this stuff is about to really go parabolic. So, yeah.
Yeah, Kev, real quick. Here's what I'll say in response to that. Every in this space today, every single person on this particular updates morning show, you guys have the opportunity to go out there and invite people to this morning show. I don't know who everybody's connected to. I don't know if you have any ways of you're connected to somebody and they're connected to somebody else who's interested, who's out there, maybe a professional athlete, maybe a certain type of celebrity out there that learning about .eth or ENS, or they change their name. Man, they can be micro celebrities or whatever you want to call them, right? Invite them here. I mean, everybody has that option to do that, man. Use your Twitter, to invite those folks, to these particular spaces. This is where they're going to get the education and understanding of what they can truly do with their brands and how they're able to build on their existing brand. So, man, I mean, empower yourselves and go out there and reach out to those people and invite them in here. This is a safe place. And
I think you're right.
and they can come in here and they can speak open, and this is an open forum.
Yeah, bro.
So that's kind of, we want to present that to everybody who comes in this space, so that
Yeah, you're working hard, bro. You're working hard. But the moral of the story, I think he was trying to say, is shoot your shot, right? Just invite who you want to invite. Let's bring the community out, and let's make this a safe, open forum for all, for everyone. And I think the NFT verse has done a phenomenal job and a great job at that himself. He's invited many prominent guests on the show, so he's extending, saying that, hey, you could do the same thing, right? It's who do you want to hear from? Give them a platform. You have a platform. That's the thing about the ENS updates. This is a show where I want to give the entire community a voice, right? I'm just here to, moderate the show, but it's really a platform for you to share your thoughts, anxieties, questions, frustrations, whatever it is. Let's get it out. Let's talk about it. And then that's what we're all about here. Now, I do want to reset the room real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We do the show every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where, we talk all things ENS, traditional markets, crypto, so forth and so on. Now, I just pinned a tweet to the top. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could take a look at that tweet, like, retweet, do whatever you want with it. It is basically a tweet that me and ENS Punks put together. ENS Punks on my behalf submitted a proposal to the ENS DAO for a grant of 1 ETH to help support the show. And we tagged the voting delegates on that post as well. So hopefully we can get some of those guys on the show, and hopefully we can get some of their attention to allow them to see, hey, this is something we're doing for the community every single day. If you guys want to come support. But more importantly, we would like their vote and hopefully receiving that. I will say this as well. If I don't receive that grant, I will feel no type of way. The show goes on. I've been operating without a grant. With or without the grant, the show goes on, right? 1 ETH would be nice, but without it, life goes on. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I do want to pass it over to ENS Punks because, guys, he could probably explain this a lot better than I can. ENS Punks, please, if you want to walk us through more clear walkthrough of that, that would be great.
Yeah, GM Kev, Master, NFTverse, Gary, 3402, the rest of the speakers, and the entire community of listeners in here. Yeah, so the idea is it's a great one, right? So there's Carlos DP from the ENS DAO, and he got a grant to build out a platform. It's ENSgrants.xyz. It launched this past week. And basically the idea is, again, the DAO is pretty new, right? They did the airdrop November, December, and, there's experimentation. They've got it structured a certain way. They're experimenting with it. And one of those experiments is this idea of, hey, we want to streamline what they're calling small grants or micro grants. And this platform is, again, it's like out of the community, by the community, for the community. Carlos DP created it, and it's just launched. This is round one. So I think, anytime there's like a round one, we always kind of joke around that, like, look, anytime you're first, you're an OG in the space. And there's going to be 5 winners of grants for 1 ETH each out of this round one. And there's no shortage of, I think, proposals that are deserving, no shortage of people in this community that are building public goods. And Kev, I hope everybody in here who's listening would agree, Kev in this space in particular is one. So, he just reached out and said, hey, I'm interested. And, the whole reason that happened, right, is because I brought it up and said, hey, this platform is out there. There's these grants, and he reached out and asked for the help. And that's fantastic, right? That's part of this idea of educating community outreach and reaching back out and saying, hey, I'd like your help, shoot, if you're offering. We put together a proposal, submitted it. The proposal closed this morning at 9 a.m. and now the vote period is on. In a way, it's pretty fun. I even asked in like the ENS DAO forum. I was sort of like, and again, everybody, if you're not like already signed up for the ENS DAO forum, get in there, because that's where you're going to get this information. You're going to be able to follow along from the very beginning, like where Carlos says, hey, I've got this idea to build a platform and we can do some grants and sort of, templatize that procedure. And you could support that from the beginning. And then, you're not going to be relying on ENSpunks to bring you some half-assed version of the news and information. You're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth. But more importantly, you'll be able to support it and sort of watch it get built in front of your eyes in real time, and just be more up to date than even I am. And that's the goal, is just informing yourself. But, there's all kinds of things. Like I said, the way the DAO is structured, there's a constitution. The community treasury is to go to certain allocations, the long-term funding of the DAO itself. But then after that, to things like the ecosystem and public goods. This round one is for public goods. And so, it's just this idea that, look, when it comes to connecting the community, onboarding new members, right? We've done it live during the spaces. We've gotten ENS names for people who didn't have them and got them to those people and onboarded them. That's awesome. It's amazing. The entire space really revolves around education, all things ENS. So it is a public good, right? We want it. We want to see Kev funded. And certainly you want to see somebody with that attitude of, hey, if I don't get funded, no big deal. It's not going to change what I'm doing. So for those who hold ENS tokens, look, if you're not delegated to somebody else and you're self-delegated, it's your duty. It's your duty to sort of, take the time, read these proposals and vote for one. Get involved, understand this new platform. And it is pretty cool that the voting is open till midnight, July 29th, I believe, and then it'll close up. There will be, like I mentioned, 5 winners of 1 ETH each, so a total of 5 ETH for this round one. And then, they're just probably going to take the feedback. They're going to figure it out. And again, that's the idea. keep growing this thing. And that's what they want to do. So it's part of the idea of ENSgrants.xyz. And so part of the fun, I do think, is this idea of lobbying. So what I asked in the DAO forum is, what's the idea here? Once the proposal kind of period closes, should we lobby? And sure enough, is like, yeah, that's fair game. And so, there are delegates with significant amounts of votes. One, again, to Kev's point, even if they don't vote for Kev, this proposal, we still want them in these spaces. We want them. So it's a good way to kind of say, hey, if you don't know, now you know. The space is here. We welcome you. Come in. Not only do we want you in here and listen and, come talk to us. Like, every time a dev who's building a project in the ENS ecosystem gets invited in as a special guest, like PCC doing the subdomains or Tweak Labs doing the subdomains. We love it. We learn a lot every time somebody from the DAO comes in, like Alicia. We love it. It's like a Q&A session. And we see speakers who never take the chance to come up and talk like, hey, I want to get my chance now. So we want to encourage that period. It's brand new. So the whole idea of like kind of lobbying is weird. But yeah, I did ask, and that's sort of like, again, the exact words were, that's fair game. So, it's kind of twofold. Like, hey, come in, if you can't, we understand, but at least check out the proposal. And this idea of exactly what I keep saying is organize the community. It's like, look, some of those people don't have the time, right, to get in the spaces. And so it's like, it helps them know if a lot of people would like the tweet, retweet it, that it's important to the community. And, it's just sort of that signaling. It helps do the job without them needing to come in and experience it firsthand. If they've got the time, we, of course, want that. We welcome that. If not, again, it's our duty as a community to support Kev, not just Kev. Again, there are other proposals. Read through them. And, if you find another one you support, so be it. But it's not going to stop Kev, what he's doing here. And so it's just about, educating yourself, getting involved. And that's the big message, sort of that vote or die message, So I hopefully that wraps it up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, ENSpunks, for your help, being willing to help, and educating the entire community on what's going on behind the scenes with some of this stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. And one thing I do want to say, I want to encourage more people to, oh shit, I think I just removed somebody by accident. Damn, my bad. I do want to say, I want to encourage more people to speak on spaces, to share your thoughts, to share your opinions. I know it's cool if you're busy, you're working or working out, whatever it is, you kind of just want to be in listen mode. But if not, you have some free time, come up and ask a question, right? Come up and introduce yourself. This is how you network. This is how you connect. Yesterday, I had the phenomenal opportunity to connect with Gary offline of Twitter, right? Just to talk about a couple of things. And that's because he comes on spaces and he speaks on a day-to-day basis. We're connecting. So I encourage more of you guys to request, hit that request button, come introduce yourself to the community. That's what it's about to me. The NFT verse, the stage is yours, brother.
Oh, hey, sorry about that, Kev. I was reading something. No, I just wanted to ask you something really quick, maybe you and ENSpunks. So basically, when you go to that particular proposal, and maybe this is a question that everybody may ask point, but when you go to that particular proposal and you connect your wallet, is that an automatic vote, or do you need to go somewhere else after you connect your wallet to actually vote, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so I just voted today. Again, like the voting opened at 9 a.m. So first time I ever voted, of course. I connected my wallet and it showed the number of ENS tokens I had. And you can just hit vote. Now, I did have issue and I jumped in the ENS DAO forum, going back to that idea. I DM'd Carlos DP and gave him some screenshots. And he said, you can vote directly on Snapshot. I went to Snapshot, and sure enough, my votes were already reflected on Snapshot. So my vote did go through. So you can vote directly on the platform. You can also vote on snapshot.org. If you're familiar with snapshot.org, it's basically where all the off-chain votes happen for like the ENS DAO generally. If like all this is sort of like a foreign language to you, try voting directly on the platform. It like Carlos DP told me, others have successfully done it. It should show. If it doesn't, just DM me. I'm happy to kind of check Snapshot and make sure your votes are reflected. And if not, I'll give you the Snapshot link personally, and you can vote directly on Snapshot. So there are two options.
One, definitely, what are you waiting for? Post that link to Twitter. For permission, post that link to Twitter and pin it to this room. And then two, are votes based on ENS coin? Like how many ENS coin you either own or have delegated to yourself?
Yeah, exactly. The vote themselves, and I'll do a reply to Kev's thread. Now, in Kev's thread, in the very first tweet, there is a link directly to the proposal, and you can vote there again. But I'll do a reply with the snapshot link. It's probably good to have both anyway, because it does show you like a tally of the votes.
Yeah.
And it's based on the ENS ERC20 token.
So you're saying the only way for us to give money to people through the grant is by owning the ENS token? Wow, that makes me think the ENS token is really important. I should go get more ENS token so I have more votes.
Yeah, it is the governance token, as you say, Gary. Now, one thing might be interesting here. I don't know for sure. Like, I'm self-delegated or whatever they call that. Like, I delegated my votes to myself. But it may actually be that the delegates might not vote. Like, they might not vote the delegated votes in these grants. That is actually unknown to me. So, in other words, whereas you might have like delegated your votes to a big delegate, it's not actually clear that the delegates are voting all those delegated votes for the ENS grants platform. That
they are.
They are? Okay.
Yeah, delegated votes count as vote. Yeah, so I have 10,000 votes delegated to myself and are delegated from other people to me, and those votes are showing up here as I'm able to vote with those. The thing with the main DAO, though, is that with the main DAO, people have all these notifications. So we all receive, at least myself, I receive multiple emails every time a new proposal is created. I receive something from Hal. I receive something from Discuss. I might receive something from Tally. So, I don't ever miss, a notification. There's two votes I didn't vote on because I was on vacation and I have my keys with me. But with this thing, I don't think there's the same sort of visibility and awareness with a lot of people that normally vote. So I would just wonder about that with the people in charge to say, hey, what are you guys doing to get more visibility to the 3 million votes that voted on the last, DAO vote? What are you doing to get visibility for the ENS grants to those people to encourage more participation?
Well, there we have it, folks. There we have it. That is I'm still learning about this DAO infrastructure and this DAO platform, and that's what it's all about, right? So we'll keep it moving to ENSLatino. The stage is yours. Go ahead.
Yo, what up, my friend? Kev, Master, the NFT verse, Gary, ENSpunks. Special shout out to Zij. We had a cool conversation last night. I was almost falling asleep, but this guy was keeping me awake till 2 in the morning. And also shout out to J.eth, member of the ENS Latino community. I just wanted to talk to you guys the project that I started. I started this project of ENS Latino because I see how you guys are mobilizing in the English-speaking community, also in the Arabic community, and then I'm seeing countries across the world starting their own clubs and their own their own movements, right, depending on the ENS and their country and their idiosyncrasy. So I just found it like an opportunity to also teach my Latin American or my Hispanic speaking folks, because this is not something that we typically talk about, and everything related to finance, we're typically on the tail end of the adoption curve, and I wanted to help change that. So one, I just wanted to let you guys know of what I'm building in ELS Latino. Basically, I'm just trying to build a place where people can come, they can get educated on Latin names, Hispanic names with the letter Enye, which is the N with the little squiggly line on top, which is not part of the English dictionary, but it is a part of the Spanish keyboard. And then also talk about the accents, which is very important in the Spanish language. And I've seen that I've gotten these questions a lot where English speakers ask me, like, dude, but like this word is X word, right? But I know in Spanish it has an accent. Do you think that matters? And my answer to you guys, if you have the same question, is for me as a Hispanic speaker, it does matter. The accent differentiates the word, and it makes it sound different. So, for example, I was talking to a guy last night that he had the word for loan, but in Spanish, and that word is préstamo, and that word has an accent on the E. And if you have it without the E, I assure you, the bank or whichever lending platform in Spanish that buys it, it's going to prefer with the accent. So just wanted to let you guys know I'm fully bilingual, and there's a lot of people that speak Spanglish in the Hispanic community. So we can fuck with y'all, you know. But just wanted to let you know that we're also, it might be an opportunity for y'all to learn about these Hispanic words, right? Because this is a market that is highly untapped. And I've gotten this from a lot of English speakers. They're like, yeah, man, I know the Hispanic, but dude, I don't know the words, or I don't know where the accent is. And, you know, like, can you help me with that? So definitely, you know, if you guys are interested in that, you know, just hit follow, hit me up on Spaces, send me a DM, help you guys find some words if you need me to. But the thing is here, promoting not necessarily just the Latin community, promoting the Latin community words, right? So we want allies. We want people from English. We want Mandarin. Any language that you speak, we want you in our community, right? Because you are supporting us, right? But I think it's important to promote, you know, the words as they're designed to be or said, right? So I think that's what we're trying to bring. So yeah, man. If you guys have any questions or any thoughts for me, please let me know. Pleasure being here with you guys, and thank you for the opportunity of speaking.
No, thank you, man. That was very well said, and I think I love that. To keep building. That's what this space is all about. We need more people like you, right? And what I mean by that is builders. You know, find your niche within this massive community and build on top of that, right? He literally carved out his own niche. He's helping, you know, his native language and his native tongue, and you know, he's helping build that community. So congrats to you on doing that. I will be supporting that. One of my, I always have, I don't know from what country you're from, but I've visited the Dominican Republic a couple of times, and man, I absolutely love the food, the environment, the people, the weather. Absolutely great time. So I just give you a follow, brother. I look forward to seeing how you grow that that account. But we'll keep it moving over to 1289.
Thanks.
Has been waiting very patient. Yeah, the
Thanks,
stage
brother.
is
Can I
yours,
say something
1289.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I also, you know, my main account is my personal account, and that's my YouTube channel. So if you see me around, it's called En Arroz y Habichuelas, which is in rice and beans. So, you know, I'm sure there's people here that know me as Rice and Beans, but they're seeing this new account and they don't know who am I. So just wanted to give you that, brother. And yes, I am half Puerto Rican and Dominican. And I actually, if you went to Dominican, I wanted to ask you, did you eat mango, which is the mashed plantain
100%.
dish that they...
Yes, well, I ate it for breakfast like every time I was over there. So good stuff, man.
So I have that word. So I have mango
And crazy,
with the accent in the U. So just wanted to let you know that, brother. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll let someone else speak. Thank you.
it's crazy. I think I own Rice and Beans in English. I really think I do. I have to double check that, but I do think I own Rice and Beans. Now, I'm happy you said that. You just got that to my attention. But we'll
Yeah,
keep.
man, that was some serious alpha because I'm a typical American, right? Like 4 years of a second language, but I don't use it in my everyday life. And yeah, I mean, you guys just heard it here. Those accents matter, and yeah, the accents matter. I mean, that was huge. That was huge, like confirmation for me that accents matter.
Yeah, man. You
Cool.
know, pleasure. I'm from Texas too, so I'm American too, so I can hang with both sides. So just a pleasure, everyone. Thank you.
Nice. Let's keep it moving right along. 1289. How you doing, bro?
Hey, GM guys, GM. Wanted to touch on what you said, Kev, about yesterday's spaces with Andrew Miller. It was quite informative hearing him speak about Web 2 and also his perspective on Web 3, and especially because he is coming in to buy and to be a part of Web3 domains. So it is definitely something I would tell everyone to go and check, just to pick to see what these people are thinking. And definitely, yeah, it's a good space to catch. It's going to be interesting to see what they will do, since Web 2 is a bit different from Web 3. So let's see how they position themselves. But I did pose a question to Andrew, and I don't think he replied it directly. But I asked him if he's going to be a broker, or if he thinks there will be a space for Web3 brokerage. He didn't reply that directly, which I think might be an indication that he will do that. Who knows? But yeah, that's a thing that perhaps will be valuable in the future. Even though it's centralized, I'm thinking brokerage might be a good thing going into the future.
Definitely. I think it's inevitable, right? I think it's inevitable that we have brokers in this industry. We're just so early right now. There's going to be whole economies and ecosystems. I think that's essentially going to be built within the next 12 to 24 months. As early as the next 12 to 24 months, I would say. But we just added LUCKi to the stage. LUCKi, the stage is yours. Good morning. How you doing?
What's up, GM? I hopped in here, so my name's LUCKi now, but it used to be Please Send, so pleasesend.eth. That was like my first ENS name, but ever since I've been like keeping up, and I've missed out on like the numbers. I missed out on like the emojis, I guess, but I've been looking at ones that have expired and have been trying to catch the premiums. And I was wondering, what do you think, or anyone on the stage, how much do you think Hulu.eth is going to sell for? And 787.eth is up there as well.
Oh man, I imagine Hulu.eth to go for a high premium. Like did the premium for Hulu.eth did the auction just get started?
No, I was looking at it. It's last time I saw it was crazy, like 3,000 ETH or something. But it's like on day, I could actually tell you right now.
Yeah, I would expect Hulu.eth to probably go for anywhere between 15 and 5 and 15 ETH, probably, depending on how bad somebody wants that. But that's a pretty big brand.
It's at 277 right now. You don't think Hulu.eth is going to go for more than, is going to get registered for more than 50? Like there's some emojis that have gotten registered for 4 ETH.
Yeah, you are right. So I think, man, I can't predict this shit, you know. But if somebody actually wants it, who might come in and just sweep it at 100 ETH? Who knows? But yeah, it depends how bad somebody wants the name, I guess.
Yeah, well, thanks. So that's what I'm saying. I've also been just like slowly watching, and I'm sure all these big sales have attracted some eyes that are like, I mean, who knows what Starbucks didn't that sell for like 100 or 50? Starbucks.eth. So I don't know. I guess it seems like another rally is going to come once these big names start buying again.
Yeah, it's all ebbs and flows. Go ahead, 3402.
I was just going to say it's always good to keep an eye on the expiring and recently expired on ENS Vision. I've been able to pick up some pretty good ones, so that's just a good thing to check in on.
Go ahead, ENS Latino.
I think James had his hand up, but I just wanted to ask Lucky. Did you ask about the number 787? Was that the number you said, Lucky?
Yeah, 787.eth is up there.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some alpha and just that's the area code, the main area code of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a huge tax haven for foreigners and Americans. So a lot of American millionaires and crypto millionaires are moving to Puerto Rico. So I bet you anything that if you can sell that to any of these millionaires, you're going to make a nice dime. So 787, I will bet that will sell for a fuck ton of money. Just wanted to say that because that's like our main area code.
We'll see.
It's crazy how you say that. Just an old buddy of mine's. I caught him. You know, he owns like insurance agency and all that. Some crazy. I don't know what he does, but something dealing with insurance. I just caught him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm moving to Puerto Rico." So now that you just confirmed that guy is probably a mega millionaire, I gotta have lunch with him one of these days. But James CryptoNova, the stage is yours, brother.
GM, everybody. On the topic of company name ENS, I'm wondering if there's like a alpha group chat that whales coordinate to buy these company names and then plan to resell them back to major companies later, like Sony.eth, Apple, things like that. I don't think those companies have announced that they purchased them. So it's really just whales are buying these company names and planning to sell them later, right? Because I myself have over a dozen company names and none of them sell. So uh, it would be great to see if anyone had experience selling those and how you go about making the sell on that.
My take on that is that I think it's there's a lot of them just watching from the sidelines. They may be just kind of waiting to see who the current custodian. How long are they willing to wait? How long are they willing to hold on? Can everybody still hear me? Okay, I just want to make sure everybody can still hear me.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a waiting game. There's a waiting period that's happening right now, guys. Remember that you're early. So there's a waiting period before people, companies, brands, celebrities, adoption, just regular people start to come into the space. Usually brands will kind of spark the movement when they start coming into these spaces. They'll spark the movement, and then you'll have more regular people start to come in, and the celebrities. And I think when the brands come in, the brands also trigger their sponsorship with I guess you would say sponsorship with celebrities and relationships that they have with celebrities. Then you have the celebrities start pushing that Web3 narrative, the domains and everything like that, the identities. You got to think that all of these things are connected. There's a connection to all of these things. So when you see the big brands just waiting on the sideline, they may be waiting for you to slip up. They may be waiting for you to let that thing expire so they can come in and scoop it up. And you got to realize that the big brands aren't always going to come forward as, hey, we're doing this. It depends on the leadership within that company. whether or not they wanted to so-called dox themselves as being the buyer. Most likely they're hiring third parties to come in and facilitate those transactions for them. And then when they're ready to come out and they're ready to go public with their purchase, then that third party will transfer that asset over to them. And then at that point, you'll see the big companies come out public and make their announcements. So don't think that they're not in the game yet. They're here. They're just behind closed doors, and they have somebody facilitating it for them. So, but trust me, if Budweiser came in and Budweiser kind of announced theirs, they're kind of bold with it, right? They're pretty bold. They're kind of a trendsetter. So they came in and they announced it. But you don't think that when they got Beer.eth, that these companies weren't out there hiring third parties to go in and secure their names? Man, you're crazy if you don't think that they got somebody out here in the mix with all of this stuff going on. So that's kind of what I'd say on it.
Hey everybody, yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're sort of giving a little too much credit to large corporations, because the thing about large corporations is that, yeah, they're large. There's a lot of people that work at them. Let's say a large corporation has let's say like 1,000 people on average, and 1,000 people work there, and that's across a dozen different departments. So you got like a few hundred people on average. I don't know, like in engineering, a few hundred people in marketing, a few hundred people in operations, a few hundred people in support. And so with that, like you have some low level people, their titles are like specialist or sometimes managers. They know what's up with crypto because they're in touch with the world kind of in a different way than executives. And those managers are sharing that information with executives because they're super excited about crypto. They're super excited about sharing that information with their executives. And the executives don't always like understand or follow, or they're caught up on other aspects of crypto or Bitcoin or ESG or the stock market. They're not like red pilled necessarily yet, like these executives. And even the executives that hear out those people, the managers and the specialists, that they get heard out, and they are like, okay, let's write a report. Let me know about it. I'm on vacation next week. We'll do it in 2 weeks. The point is that these large corporations move very, very, very slow. They are very slow, and it's not because they're dumb. It's just there's so many people. It's a giant ship, and it's structured in a way that sort of makes it hard to move the ship, right? One little change on the website, the changing a color of a button, right, can involve hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. No joke. I'm going to do this metaverse thing, which again, for me and you, it's just like easy peasy. I'm the HR guy, I'm the lawyer, I'm the manager, I'm the owner, I'm the janitor. All those people say yes when I say yes because I'm that person. But for them, they got to talk about HR, they got to talk to finance, they got to talk about like custodial stuff and money, and we got to pay for this in Ethereum. That's a whole other issue. How do we buy it? Like not like, you go, this is where you buy Ethereum. No, it's like, how do we account for it on the books that we're not breaking any laws? There's a lot of stuff that all these different people got to have their little slice of the pie figured out before they can move forward. And then the thing with Budweiser, and they see everything happening, and they're not sure, like they don't know, like we know, that if ENS is going to be the shit. The lower you are, the more you understand. Wow, ENS is like really important, but it takes a long time for that information to be solidified all the way to the top. And then looking at places like Budweiser, I think, is just sort of a disservice to yourself, because the thing about Budweiser, on a side note, I saw them talk with Gary Vee and NFT NYC 2 years ago. I was not very excited about their talk. The reason Budweiser is so ahead of the game is because Budweiser has hired VaynerMedia and Gary Vee, and Gary Vee as a leader is so far into the future of understanding like what this is going to look like into the future, that Gary Vee as a marketing technology business and Budweiser's a client, Gary Vee's just like, listen, you trust me? Do you trust me or not trust me? It's like, and they're probably like, yeah, man, we give you millions of dollars a year. Like, what are you saying? They're like, just do this, just do this. And they just like, they're like, all right. So they just dropped like, Gary Vee was probably like, listen, we'll buy it for you. We're just going to bill you $100,000. We'll take care of all the bullshit. So you don't got to worry about your legal or compliance. It should just be a line item. And then I'm pretty sure Gary Vee's company bought it and then transferred it to them, and then like do the marketing technology consulting, and so right, like that they had major help acquiring. And Chipotle, I'm pretty sure, is a Gary Vee client, right? Some of these other brands that are like big names that acquired their names, they're all Gary Vee clients. Like any big brand, Fortune 1000, that's a Gary Vee client, is getting hooked up with knowledge and with Gary's like sales pitch. It's not like their internal marketing was like, oh yeah, we have this idea, and then the CEO is like, I don't know, and then like the legal department's like, I don't know. It's like, no, it's like marketing department, Gary Vee, marketing CMO's got like $1 million budget or multiple $1 million budget. Was like, yeah, sure, $100,000, and then hundreds of thousands of consulting, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's going to take time for the corporations to catch up. That's all I'm saying. It's like corporations are just, they're not dumb or anything. It's not that they don't understand. It's just they're doing their core business. It takes a long time for technology to change, and yeah, it just takes a long time for big corporations to move. You got to have patience with them. You got to have education. You can't be mean to them or call them stupid or any of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like with the domain king and some of these corporations, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of bureaucracy. It's really difficult to make change. There's a lot of people you have to, needs you have to meet, and again, that Gary Vee situation, and they were just like, line item, $100,000 cash. You guys are now the premium owner of the category defining ENS name. And they're gonna make billions of dollars from that decision.
No, you make a great point, Gary, but I think you also touched on the point that I made is having a third party there to secure things, right? Because what you just said about Gary Vee, he was a third party that came in there and helped Budweiser secure their name. They didn't know what the heck was going on, but they listened to him. So who knows if Gary Vee is not carving out that true niche market to go in and secure more of these domains for other companies out there, like he did for Budweiser. So yeah, you make a
Yeah,
great
Hunter.
point.
Yeah. That was a good point that you had too. And just for the record, I'm not really for buying company names and selling those companies back to them. I live in America. I have to deal with American law. Anyone's information can be doxxed. I come pre-doxed. And so I got to deal with whatever existing laws that this already falls under, even though it's decentralized and I can do whatever I want. There are consequences and repercussions for words and for actions. And so because of that, I personally have focused on generic words. And even if a generic word was relating to, I would never approach that company. I would never use their logo. I would never use their name. I would never fuck with anything that was related to their industry. Obviously, if I had Apple.com, I wouldn't be showing any electronics, not even electronics. I wouldn't be showing a freaking Walkman, right, on that website. It would have absolutely nothing to do with anything that is electronic whatsoever, right? And yeah, so anyone else, it's like you're walking. There are pre-existing laws and precedent for people, taking up a brand name and then approaching a company to sell them that name. And this is an area where Web3 people can learn a lot from the sophistication of Web 2, right? Because there's already a lot of legal work and ethical work that's been thought through. And I think it's important for us to carry some of that forward.
Nice. We'll go over to James. Stage is yours, brother.
I am wondering what the motive behind these company buying their own ENS. Like Chipotle bought their own, right? But is it more of a marketing move into the crypto space, or do you think they would use it somehow? Because currently, I'm not sure what the company will be using it for.
They're figuring it out. It's the same thing that we're talking about. It's identity, it's subdomains. It's mainly identity and subdomains, right? It's like, sure, there's something in there about receiving cryptocurrency payments, and there's something in there about decentralized websites, but it's like digital ownership of new assets that are connected to new blockchain networks, right? And they're just like, we know, wow, they're really going to need these names. Everyone's going to really need a name for their identity and for communicating and for whatever cool subdomain project they want to do. Like they're eventually, you got to realize, like, this isn't new. It's like when .com came out, Ford didn't know that they should buy Ford.com. Ford didn't know that they should buy FordSucks.com, right? And then there were no laws against that, so they just had to pay, $10,000 and $20,000 to get those names, which was more money than $10,000 and $20,000 is today. But then the law is updated, and then they were classifying, different types of actions and behaviors as extortion. And so now it was like kind of like extortion-y to buy someone's name and sell it back to them for a big price. And the ethics of this have gone back back and forth a lot, with a lot of different examples in both legal law, trademark law, ICANN, domain name, arbitration, and even so far as cases of reverse domain hijacking, which is when someone owns a domain name and then someone else creates a trademark after someone else had already owned the domain name, and they use that trademark in order to like sort of illegally or unethically gain custody of someone else's domain name, which they sort of rightfully owned and didn't buy that name, and with the intent of infringement. And people in domain name land from ICANN, they've like thought about this a lot, and so you can look up all these different cases, PamelaAnderson.com and WhiteHouse.com and .Amazon and all sorts of stuff out there.
Awesome. And one thing I want to say is, like, companies are still slow to adopt crypto, right? A lot of companies are still slow to even adopt Bitcoin and Ethereum in itself. So we can't even get you to adopt the mother coin of Ethereum or ETH. It's gonna be a ride, right? We oftentimes say it's gonna be a roller coaster. So you just got to sit back, have conviction, fasten your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride. Because some companies will move faster than others, some might move slower. But as long as we have conviction here, I don't think we even need companies here, right? We don't need major companies here, because the thing that's happening is, I think once the social media giants adopt blockchain technology, adopt NFTs like Meta and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Reddit and all these other platforms, once we're using NFTs in the blockchain day to day with those platforms, that's when mass adoption starts. But we'll go ENS Latino, then we'll end it with Gary. We'll call this one the day after that. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, man, I just wanted to touch upon what the young man, I forgot who he was. He asked about how to sell. And basically, just going back to my Puerto Rico, like I've bought a couple companies, and I'm definitely learning a lot from what Gary's saying and things that I need to be careful with, right? But like, if it was me, I know these people, they're in my backyard. I just go up to them and be like, hey, man, I'm not planning to sell this. I'm going to license it till the day I die. But if you want it, I can sell you for like X amount cheap right now. If you want, like, if that was what you're trying to do, if you're buying companies, I would just knock on people's doors, send them emails, and let them know, hey, I have it. So if you ever want to send a mediator to me, just send them my way. But then I definitely agree with Gary. And then with 5159, your last take, that's what I wanted to talk upon, because I was an accountant. I handled the debt portfolio for American Airlines, which is the biggest portfolio in the airlines industry, at least in the States. And I had exposure to the CFO and the CEO. And in one of these meetings, I would ask about like, hey, are we planning to accept crypto or Bitcoin from our customers? And I was just asking about Bitcoin. Dude, they laughed me off the stage. They were like, I could see like I was the weird guy in the room, and like even the managers, the staff, like everyone's like unaware, and there's like probably like 3 people, per 1,000 that know what I'm talking about. And like, imagine that's with Bitcoin. These people think that Ethereum and Bitcoin are the same, right? So like they all categorize it in the same area. So like what you were saying, if we can't get them to buy our native token, which is Ethereum, how hard will it be, or how long would it take for them to buy, their ETH, their .eth? So I'm with you guys. I agree with, I think most of what was said. I just wanted to give that as my experience, because it did happen to me and I was laughed off the stage. So that lets me know American Airlines.eth is not going to be bought anytime soon by them. But it means that we're extremely early. So just wanted
Yeah,
to give that.
but also means that technology waits for no man, right? In Web 1 to Web 2, we've seen a major shift in Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, new companies are rising who adopted to the new technology. And we're going to experience the same thing in Web3, right? These early, like probably Yuga Labs is going to be one of them, right? These companies who are adopting early, innovating with technology. We're going to see a lot of new companies rise to the top because at the end of the day, you can have your opinions, you can laugh it off, this, that, and the third. Technology waits on no man. But we'll end this one with Gary as our anchor. The stage is yours, brother.
Hey, yeah, I could definitely relate to that, ENSLatino. I work for companies where we do payment processing, like Visa, point of sale stuff, processing hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Like fractions of trillions of dollars in payment processing, and my CEO is like literally been to outer space. Like my CEO is a jet fighter, like astronaut, billionaire. I don't work there anymore, and like I'm in a room with like him and like 5 other people, and I'm like the one crazy kid, and yeah, I'm like, listen, when are we gonna accept crypto? When are we gonna do this? And yeah, like they chuckled a little bit, and and I'm sure all my words like still ring, because no matter if we're bear market or bull market, like they're going to see it. Like I was saying earlier, corporations move really, really slow, and it's not about them laughing. It's just, yeah, like Kev said, it's a great observation. They haven't even really bought Bitcoin and Ethereum yet, but they all know that they should. They all have a kid, or they all have someone in their family who's having some level of success. They see it in the business world. They see it in the data. I can tell you for a fact that these business leaders, they do get, very good reports that they pay attention to. And these reports are very, very clear. The metaverse is the future. The metaverse is going to be 4 times the size, like 3 to 4 times the size of the current internet by like 2030, 2032. And so they know, they don't know exactly what it means, right? So, but yeah, they're laughing at Bitcoin and everything, but they're laughing at Ethereum, but they know something has to happen. They know there is like a metaverse play. And the way that we onboard these companies in Web 2, and this is the alpha, the way that we grow ENS names is by focusing on sign-in with Ethereum. If we can get these companies, like you don't got to bring up ENS, you don't have to bring up, the metaverse. All you have to be like is like, listen, in Web 1, people would sign in with their username and their password. In Web 2, people would sign in with their Google account or their Facebook account. You know what I mean? They would sign in with their social media. Web 3 is the best of all because like before, like, a database would get hacked, the website would get hacked, and now Google gets hacked all the time, and mass information of people, they're hacked all at once. But now we have sign in with Ethereum. And all it does for these Web 2 websites is that it lets people be in control of their own username and their own password. And it's I don't want to get too technical, but it's cryptographically secured, and it uses PGP. It's called Pretty Good Encryption, PGP encryption, and it's like literally like the best possible encryption that a user could have for any website in the world, because any password that you can think of with your brain sucks compared to the password from your crypto, public key, private key pair. And so by people having to sign in with Ethereum and having them log in that way and then set their account and then connecting it to their email address and then all the whatever data in the back end, sign in with Ethereum, and then later they can figure out, oh, what's this feature do? Oh, it's like some sort of like username that's automatically detected if the user has like some ENS name, it seems, And so we just have to get them to do sign with Ethereum. That's going to grow Ethereum. It's going to grow ENS. It's going to grow all your bags, and then just makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier to understand. Oh, someone needs to log into my website, and I need to do it in a secure way, right? And so that's your Trojan horse to get ENS names in.
Yep. Well, thank you for the alpha, Gary. Thank you for all the speakers, our hosts, our co-hosts that participated in today's episode. This is the ENS Update Show. We do it every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am formally inviting everyone back again to tomorrow's show at 11 a.m. With that being said, y'all, I need to go grab some food, and peace out.